out for my birthday party, but what does he say? It's time for you all to leave because you suck.
Is that when Batman?
Yeah,
when the Joker is coming in.
No, that's
and he's trying to.
That's when what's the actor's name?
I don't know. Harvey Dent.
Liam Neeson. He's
okay.
The bad guy.
Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul. Yeah, when he's about to burn down his mansion. So Bruce has to get them all out. So he's like, "You need to leave. You're all whatever low lives, whatever."
All right, so yeah, see you rocking the top right here. Yeah, that's cool. That's what we like so much about the soft tops. Why Harley sold his hard top? Because I tell you what, you take these side windows out. This is almost as good as having the top down. But I'm sorry, I got to make sure the lens doesn't go towards the doorway or we get blasted out. All right, so we've had an interesting spew with Marketplace. I'm just saying Marketplace because that's predominantly how you sell things now. It's a love-hate thing because we love that people can find stuff. We hate because a weasel can go in there and give you a bad review even if he doesn't have the intention to buy something.
Yeah.
All right, so which leads me to the hardtop. You heard me bring up the hardtop. He sold his hardtop. It did have a couple issues with it, but my hardtop is near perfect. And so I told him, he's like, well, you're going to sell yours? I said, yeah. I said, it hasn't been on for a couple of years now.
Can I say a comment about my hardtop?
Well, let me finish here.
Okay.
So I was like, my hardtop is near perfect, but I said, it hasn't been on for a couple of years. So I was like, yeah. I said, I don't think it's ever going back on. I understand why people like hardtops. I do. But for how we use our Jeeps, we pretty much don't need it. What were you going to say?
Well, it's just all the low ball offers.
Well, we're going to cover that. We're going to cover that. We're going to cover that. All right, so my arm's getting tired. Either way, this second time filming this because first time he told me I was going off like Bruce Wayne. I was starting to get a little hostile. All right, so most everything has been decent on Marketplace as far as selling stuff. But my hardtop, my Dana 44, your Dana 44,
Mine,
that came out of his TJ, people freaking lost their minds.
Yeah.
They absolutely lost their minds because what did we put it up for? $2,000?
Yeah.
2,200?
Yeah. It was a front axle.
Front axle, original Dana Ford. And the thing is, a purist is going to want that. If they want that Dana 44 or Rubicon TJ
and it had,
axle back in the front.
Had a bunch of upgrades on it. I think it had this
nothing
sway bar link extensions that had the heavy duty diff cover.
Chromoly axles. But it had none of the exterior done to it. It didn't have a truss or anything done to it. Okay, so let's get back to the hardtop. So I had him put my hardtop up for $2,250. Got probably some people sighing right now. I didn't care. He mocked me right in the very beginning because he says, Dad, he's like, you are not going to be able to sell this. Hold on here. I got to pause this for a second because I can tell Jenny, my wife, wants to talk to me. All right, so getting back to the hardtop, he kind of picked on me about the price. Well, I don't know who the company is, but they're making a new hardtop, and here's my thoughts on it. They're selling it for $2,750. I'm assuming there's probably shipping on that.
Yep.
Having been someone that actually was involved in manufacturing, owned into some of it, the amount of capital you have to put up, you're not going to invest in something if you don't think you can sell it. And that means there is a market for new hardtops for $2,750 or whatever they're selling it for. So I already knew there would be people squealing about me putting my hardtop up for $2,250. But I didn't care because I don't care if I sell it. That's what I've been kind of blown away. I already knew that we have a problem in today's society with entitlement and everything, but this hardtop has really proven it to me to where What was it here a while back? We had that one guy telling us that he was like the guru, and he was best friends with someone at Quadratec, and how dare us put that hardtop up for what we were, and that it should be for $1,200. He was not interested in the hardtop, but he was lecturing us what it needed to be sold for. And I'm here to tell you the TJs are becoming harder to get. Since we've owned these, we have seen there's guys that are cutting them up. Yep. There's teenagers that are rolling them. There's Northeast states that are rusting out. TJs.
Well, I've heard the biggest area where they get problems is these new hardtop hoists. People dropping them all the time from it. And when they drop it busts the backside off, and then you got broken windows.
That's valid. That's valid.
So the hoists are a good thing because you can lift it if you don't have multiple people, but they're also the number one cause of being damaged.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So
either way, so he struck up the conversation. I had continued end for my contractor license today, and when I got done, he says, "Hey, Dad," he says, "I was just noticing he said, I got a bad review." I said, "What was it over?" He says, "Well, it was, basically over your hardtop." I said, "Over the hardtop?" He's like, "Yeah, there was a guy, you remember, that wanted to come look at it." So we started looking. I said, "That was the guy that wanted to meet us on a Saturday and then did not go through." What was the guy's name? Jason?
Something, yeah.
Either way, you don't have to say the last name, but he lives on the East Coast. I think he lives on the coast of North Carolina, but he traveled over to the mountains, and we hung around on Saturday. He didn't show. He was supposed to come apparently on Sunday. Then midday Sunday, he's like, "Oh, and by the way, I'll come through on Monday," and which was Labor Day, and we're like, "No, we never said you could meet us on Labor Day.
Yep.
We're going to Lake," and so then he leaves us a bad review. So I know this kind of petty, but we've already had several things like this. That's not really related, but in the comment, he decided to go and tell us that the hardtop was overpriced. Yeah. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like there's real men anymore. You can kind
of read in between the lines because he's like, "I figured you would be more responsible for selling a $2,000 priced item." And the way that he worded that is kind of like... But
what he doesn't know... Well, what he doesn't know...
First off, he was making a dig on the price a little bit.
He already screwed us around for 2 days. Yeah. And then on top of that, I don't really care if it sells anyways. We don't treat people that way. You don't... As soon as you own a business, you change your habits. You change how you treat people. Your time is worth something. You don't make commitments with people and then break them or say that you're showing up. Either way. So what was some of the other issues? We've had problems with selling the front axle.
Yeah.
But either way, one of my things I want to tell you, if you're parting your Jeep out, don't give the stuff away. The TJs are the parts are getting harder to come by. They are.
For sure.
Don't. And guys, if this is your first TJ, I don't care if you see some buffoon that takes their doors off and chains them to a tree and then goes and does the trails. Don't do that. These doors are getting harder to come by. Yeah. And there's somebody that's going to come by and say, "Hey," there's going to be some Cherokee. I'm not saying people with Cherokees are thieves, but there's going to be some Cherokee Square XJ. And they're like, "Hey, I got bolt cutters back there. My buddy needs a set of TJ doors."
Thing I want to mention about the hardtops is when I sold my hardtop, mine was not in the nicest shape. And when we sold it, we priced it accordingly since it wasn't in the best shape. His hardtop is actually the nicest TJ hardtop I have ever seen. There's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
So, like, you'll get people in the comments, or not they'll message you and they'll look at the photos on Marketplace and they're like, "I think I see a hair on the hardtop. Oh, that's going to be like $200 off."
But they've offered $250 for it.
Yeah. And I was just like, oh my.
Yeah,
they haven't even showed up to look at the thing.
I know this is going on here, but how marketplace works, or the market, if you see, don't always judge what things are selling by what you see out there. Because I'll just say for hardtop, you can go on there, and I do realize that probably the going rate for a hardtop is somewhere between 12 to 1500 for a TJ. That's for ones that are faded and needs a little bit of work.
Yep.
I'm just telling you, had a collision shop. I've done this for a long time. It's the proverbial, I know what I have. I actually know what I have, and I don't care if we get rid of it, because once I get rid of it, it's gone.
Yeah.
It ain't coming back. I'm not saying it's like some irreplaceable thing, but
yeah, someone else out there would then have the best hardtop out there.
Well, let's wrap this up.
Yep.
So do we leave bad reviews on people's
I
accounts?
never do.
No.
Not unless
You want to know why?
they're going to have to involve language or something to where they're really mean towards me just for no reason.
Like what?
Like if I was buying
your
something.
your hair is too long, or
No.
you got a potty face, or what? What type? What would it? What?
So I just want, because like
No.
here's the thing, you message the person, if they don't respond, you move on.
That's
it's
it.
not your item.
That's what a man would
There's
do.
always another item out there.
That's
now,
right.
It might not be as nice. It might cost more. But the thing is, you always have the opportunity to just
We're a bunch of sissies now.
move it along.
We're just
Keep it moving.
Our country's full of a bunch of sissies. So
And like if they set you there for days, messaging you back and forth, they can't make their mind up. You just, they need to move on themselves, like, because they can't figure out what they're doing themselves.
yeah, all right. Well, we're gonna wrap up the axle tonight, and hopefully we'll have a video up there. We got her extended. Got the track bar extended right there. Yep. So we'll have that
Magic.
magic. So we'll have that out shortly. So either way, just venting. So just biggest thing, biggest thing is don't sell your parts, your TJ parts, too cheap.
Yeah.
And be real men and women that have character, and don't get offended about everything. That joker that gave him a bad review, I already know how it worked out. The guy's over on the beach, or on the coast. His wife or girlfriend says, I want to go to the mountains. And he's like, honey, can I look at a hardtop for the Jeep? No, I'm going to the mountains and you're going with me. Okay. So he's like, well, I don't want to call them guys just yet. So he calls us up and he's like, well, honey, can I look at the hardtop when we're driving back by? I guess. That's how it went over. I know. I've been around. I hope the guy sees it. I hope he does. Hey, we ran into some cool guys. What did I sell? Howard. Yeah, we got a guy right locally that is found us, not far from us, and
we've had quite a few people.
I forget how he was. I selling something? Yeah,
we
were selling something.
Your axles.
And cool guy. And then we got the guy that owns the Fight Club down in Charlotte.
Yep, selling the punching bag.
He came over. I just
and then
told him that
when I sold my rock sliders, that guy was pretty nice.
Yeah,
long list of people.
So we've made a lot of good acquaintances off Marketplace, but I tell you what, there's a bunch of pansies on there too. So,
I mean, there's starting to be a bunch of YouTube shorts now. People are like, "Hi, is this available?" I mean, that's essentially how it goes all day long. I mean, you occasionally get one person to where they're actually interested. But.
All right, this video is already going to be 15, 20 minutes long. So, all right, see ya.